aside from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fall angel just walked by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul.
Hi, and welcome to the Dynamics podcast. I'm sitting here with Jason and Fredrik, and I shouldn't be pointing with my mic, right?
No, it's a new experience, Tommy. I know.
Yeah, I'm not used to using mics, but we'll carry on anyway. I'm going to start with Jason here. You've been here on this summit, and can you tell us a little bit about what your experience here? Or
Hey, Tommy. Yeah, I'd be happy to. So I have been here for the full event, and I think since we're recording this on the last day, yeah, it's been a lot to take in. I would say. I think with Dynamics 365 information, and there's a lot more experience out there now with the people who were at the event compared to maybe the event last year. So I've been learning a lot. Probably not even getting to as many sessions as I would like to.
But we've had sessions by both Microsoft and partners and customers.
Yourself?
Yeah, I've been presenting myself twice, and they have a huge expo downstairs in a huge hall instead of outside in the hallway. They have a huge expo hall here. And
yeah, I mean, I like the space they have for this, the Dublin Convention Center, I think it's called. But it's got like the sort of tilted beer can look on the outside if you're ever in Dublin, right? I think you kind of love it or hate it. But yeah, and you know, I think the mix of the CRM side and the ERP side seems fairly even, I would say, just judging from I've been sort of bouncing between sessions on both sides for my own interests, but yeah.
Yeah,
I think the thing I think the biggest thing I learned from this week was how many more people seem interested in 365 than a year ago. I didn't take a survey on it, but it certainly seems that way. I don't know how you feel.
No, I have the fail. Yeah. So Fredrik, you've been to any good sessions yourself?
Yeah, I've been to your, of course.
Okay,
to myself.
Yeah.
I had one session, but no, I feel that also there's a lot more interest in Dynamics 365. I think the product has matured more. And also, I think it's interesting for the ISVs downstairs. The feedback has been that they're really happy with the response that they have here. But I think it's mainly because a lot of the people now implementing Dynamics 365 is looking for standardized software, and the ISV solutions that are filling the gaps that they might have coded themselves is more. They need these types of solutions to kind of fill the gaps that they have in older solutions. So they kind of want to move to these 365 and then apply a standard solution. It looks really good.
Yeah. And you've been doing some interviews with some of the booths down there.
Yeah, yourself as well. Yeah, and they are happy with the turnout, and so they all seem a bit surprised on how good it was. Really enthusiastic. I think this is something I can grow into something more, and so it's really good. Looking forward to the next year. Yeah.
And they've had a lot of great sessions throughout the day, and in the evenings they had events where we could get something to drink, something to eat. So we have that networking and social aspect as well. You met anyone new or interesting this year?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a few interesting customers. Just doing various things and with various histories on the products. I mean, if I was gonna sort of pick one thing, it's people thinking about upgrades who are on AX right now. That seems to be the topic that people keep coming back to. Also, if you're on a 2012 or 2009, people seem to be not everyone, but people seem to be thinking about that. So that's one of the common things that's come up. Folks I've talked to.
I did one session on migration from 2009, and funny enough, when I was done, came a person who was actually had been working for Microsoft developing that data migration tool. So that was kind of interesting.
Was he satisfied with your messaging of his product?
He said it was good. So yeah, and I'll take that. I embrace that. I'll take. Yeah.
What was the latest on that product? Has it been advancing? Is it stable? Is it still changing?
I say it's stable. So the latest release, the one I was playing with, was from December 2017. I think there is a new one cooking, but the one I tried, it was good enough. Yeah, for my playing around, and it didn't break. So yeah.
So that's for AX 2009 customers moving to 365.
Yep, that's right. So I believe there's a lot of them out there, and they're looking for ways to get themselves upgraded.
And that's a supported sort of available tool now at this point.
Well, right, it's not GA, but it's in a preview, and you can get access to it through Microsoft. One thing I've been talking about with professionals out there is if you're part of an implementation or you already gone live, either as partner or as customer, or you should get yourself into the Yammer feedback network, because that one is a nice place to get information, get help, and even Microsoft themselves are replying there. So that's a good place to be.
We're getting close to end of support for 2009, so it's important that this gets
that's true.
The references that Mohammed Alam made for what things were like in 2009, I didn't pick up on those until they showed. Oh, we're talking about 2009 here. I was like, maybe 06, maybe 07. I didn't know the video game, but the flight on the Hudson, I remembered that, but I couldn't remember when it was.
Yeah,
that's right.
It was 2009.
Time flies by. I
always do these when I do sales. I always do these reference cases where I pick up on some technologies that were 10 to 15 years ago to kind of show where you're going the next couple of years. So I also like to kind of look back at what was new and fresh in technology and how we perceive that and how fast this is going.
Yeah.
Just going back 10, 15 years, we were talking CRT screens were regular.
Sure.
Desktops. Right? So an iPhone was launched 10 years ago, and there's been technology that has been just going back 11, 12 years, we didn't have touchscreen phones, except for kind of some high-end Ericsson things. But
that
it wasn't
nobody used.
No capacitive touchscreen. So it's been a long journey, and that taking that into the ERP and CRM. When you select the system, that's the time aspect you kind of have to consider how fast technology is moving.
And just to remind me, traditionally is it an 8-year software life cycle for an AX version? Is it
10? So
10,
it's 5
5
plus 5. Yeah.
Okay, So people are going to start hitting that in 2019?
Yeah.
Well, or is it a month in 2018? Is that the deadline?
Well,
the cutoff, I should say.
It's October.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop working
right.
at that time. No. So it's just that you're responsible for patching and updating yourself. So.
But it was funny. One person was asking, "Will Dynamics 365 for finance version will that be the last version?"
Yeah, that's sort of a philosophical question, right?
Yeah. Didn't we just release 8? So
yeah, right.
But there were some huge, interesting news released on this summit EMEA. Did anyone of you catch that by Mohammed? Things they've acquired lately?
Oh well, three new pieces of IP that are not pieces, but 3 new areas of IP that are being put into the solution. I
Right.
don't know if I don't think it doesn't sound like they bought it from these companies. It sounds like
Extended
some kind
the
of a
purchase.
licensing or an OEM arrangement
Yeah.
is my guess. I haven't.
Yeah, I'm not a functional consultant, but I saw the Blue Horseshoe logo there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a surprise at all. And I was told, I didn't know this history, but with Tyler Technologies taking on their public sector budgeting solution, I guess that's something Microsoft has a history with as well. Did you know that they had apparently absorbed some other Tyler public sector features several years ago, and I'm not sure how well they were adopted in that vertical, because I don't think that's like the strongest vertical for AX, public sector.
Public sector. Well, it's not a very strong that we have a lot of deliverables in, I think. But
yeah, it
it's
is an area they pay attention to.
Exactly, and I think that it varies a lot from country to country how you want to implement that. But there are some core features like how you do revenue income and how you kind of handle this. But I think that the customer engagement part of the product is much more prevalent in that industry, and it feels natural to kind of add on these type of systems before. But especially in Norway, there is one kind of ERP solution that has kind of cornered the market, and so they also have the consultants to do the implementations. But again,
that probably varies by country a lot. I think in Germany, I think a lot of municipalities or larger, government groups actually use Nav.
Yeah,
I'm told. With an overlay on it or with an ISV solution on it.
Yeah,
it's all about cornering the market because it is a special market and it's tough to get into. It's long sales processes, also very governed processes. But I believe that finance and operations also could be a very, very good product. I mean, if you have project service automation, you have customer engagement, you have a lot of products that can fit into the public sector model.
Yeah, I wouldn't know much about that, but one thing I do from the technical side is with the platform the way it is, it's certainly feasible for Microsoft to acquire it and extend the product itself, and businesses can basically also pick and choose whatever they need that makes sense for them, and it's since it's extendable.
Yeah, there's also local requirements to having cloud implemented. If you don't have a data center in your country, there's also kind of challenges when it comes to that.
Yeah. I went to several sessions by Dennis from Italy, one of the MVPs, presenting on the on-premise, and there was a huge interest for on-premise. So there is certainly a demand for that.
Oh yeah. What I sort of taken to learn was there's a lot more people interested than the ones that meet sort of the very sort of limited criteria that Microsoft would ideally like to see. Sure. I think people are just interested, and some are almost ready to go live. I don't know if any have gone live, but
there was one in one of the rooms that had gone live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I talked to a big system integrator who said they have multiple customers, approaching within the next few months. Go lives on, and some of them have good reasons. They're network connectivity, and it was a Middle Eastern country that only had one ISP. Was an example, so it made sense. And but then others just felt more comfortable, or they felt like low transaction. You can tell me if this makes sense, but look, sort of if you have a very low transaction level, and you look at, they were thinking on-prem, but then they looked at sort of the hardware requirements and the cost of that, and they said, for all this hardware, for this low level of processing that we actually do, we should just go cloud instead. Even though it was, I think it was a smaller country, but without a data center in it, but they still decided. They still decided to go cloud.
There was one person that they couldn't use it through cloud because they were situated in Africa, South Africa, and the latency was just too. It wasn't durable, so they have to go on-prem to get that performance they want. So
but I was reminded of how many variations of deployments there are out there with mixes of various countries and sort of corporations with locales and people, or individual locations on different versions of AX. Is that fairly common? I remember one woman said she still has some companies or certain countries on AX3,
right?
And others on, I guess, later releases. And so she's trying to figure out what to do with all of those.
Yeah, it's tricky, but it's doable to bring that in company by company, basically. Yeah, it's doable, definitely.
Yeah. So it wasn't before 2012 or early 2009 that we kind of saw that it's going to be a more integrated solution with a better consolidation model. These types of things. That was 2012. So for these companies after 2012, it makes sense to be on the same platform and in the same database. But earlier versions, it didn't really matter because you have to do consolidation and these type of things outside of the solution anyway. So kind of getting back to that, I think when they first start to use consolidation features, when the big organizations, that's when they kind of have to move to the same platform.
Right. So has any of you made to see the city? Have you seen the city at all while you're here? Just inside of the hotel and conference? Or
In the last few days, not much. But
No.
Dublin by night.
Dublin by night? Yeah.
I got in on Saturday because I did want to have a little extra time to do some sightseeing. And so I walked a good chunk of the city, which is very walkable, you know. It's wonderful. I've never been here before.
No, me neither.
No, there's a lot of it's an old city, right?
Very
It's
old,
it's
low,
house.
very low buildings. It sort of feels like a very large sort of secondary city in another country, maybe, because it's like not a lot of tall buildings and not a lot of sort of big infrastructure.
Yeah. Do you recall? So they had potential places for next summit.
Yeah.
It's like Barcelona and Nice, London, and what was the fourth?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Copenhagen.
Yeah, I think they're
Copenhagen?
contemplating.
it was
Amsterdam. Yeah, you're right.
Are they talking about Copenhagen? too?
Yeah, I think it's like because I would like that, but
Sortland?
no, not where I live. It's too small.
I was thinking Bergen would be a good place, but
Bergen?
it's a bit hard to get to.
How is it this time of year?
This
Still
time
cold?
of year, it's starting to warm up.
Oh, okay.
We just to have had our lawn thawed for the winter, so we don't have that much snow. It's more like Tommy goes.
Not too much.
Any preference of the places?
I would prefer Nice.
Yeah.
If I had to do, I actually suggested that we can do a cruise ship because we're kind of a number that we could like rent a big cruise ship. It's hard though, and you have to book into a cruise ship.
Yeah, it's expensive too.
Yeah, well, if you divide it by enough people, I guess it will be.
Maybe it just doesn't leave until enough people sign up. So like,
I think
we
everybody.
don't know when this event's going to be, but as soon as enough people sign up, we're out of here. We're sailing away.
Yeah, it's hard to plan. I know,
Yeah.
but that would be nice.
You have a vision. Maybe
I have a vision.
You might make it a reality. It's...
Me, yeah.
But in any case,
Or just-
a year from now,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be even more huge. By then, the product will be even more mature, and I think
Yeah, we'll see talent and the other products kind of mature more than they are now. They were a bit field service and retail, which is retail's been for a long time. But retail on Dynamics 365 is really catching the eye of the vendors and people out there. So the customers.
Do you know the status of the retail? I thought I saw. I hadn't looked at it much, but I thought I saw that retail for 365 finance operations is it already available, or is it just coming ready this fall?
Oh no, we have customers running on it.
Okay.
And it's
What am I thinking
we're
of?
doing implementations.
Maybe a new release or something like that.
There
Is
is
it for 7.3?
Yeah. So what happened was we've kind of structured or cut down some of the functionality in finance and operations. So we have a deliverable called Finance for Retail, which is just the retail functionality with all the functionality for other processes kind of removed. But you can always start on that and then just move to the full finance and operations version. So I don't know if anybody who has been in just retail, but that's kind of targeting the lower market, and I don't know if there's many on that. But on finance and operations, retail functionality, there's a lot of companies coming up on that, and so there's no difference in it except that it's just kind of locked down.
And you get the added. If you do need MPOS or
those are included.
Yeah, those are included with the retail side.
CPOS and MPOS is also there. But we saw a lot of cool functionality going on retail, coming up on the distribution model and how it's going. So they're going to go from what they're now to do a staggered rollout where they can do a retail update only and then do finance and operation by itself. And so you can scale through the retail scaling units to have an offline functionality because you don't want your stores to get offline, right? So you can kind of have a always on and always updated solution running even through updates. But then the roadmap, what he showed was that you would have different rings for rollouts. So you can have different versions rolling out to different.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. And that was presented by Microsoft themselves.
That was Bonde, yeah. So
Did they have a strong presence there beyond yourself? on this.
Beyond me from Microsoft, yes,
Yes.
there's people here.
Yeah.
There's people who know stuff other than
other than me.
And other the partners and customers, yeah.
No, we have a good part. The product team for supply chain, I've seen them being around here. Philip Jacobsen and Mirza Abdi is just doing a session now. So
yeah.
So there's a lot of good. I also did a session with Roxana. So yeah, there are some. I was going to say big heads, but very very well positioned.
That's not exactly what I would call.
No, they yeah.
Big brains.
Big brains.
Yeah, big brains. Yeah, strong minds.
So, yeah. So product team is well represented, especially on manufacturing.
Yeah.
Since that is out of Denmark, I think it's easier for them to kind of be in place here.
Yeah, and on the MVP side, we have, I think we have 8 MVPs here.
Yep.
Present on the AX. On the CRM, there's even more.
And one reconnect.
Yeah, there's one reconnect here.
Yeah, it would have been 9.
Yeah, but
They still talk to you.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
I was
that's
actually asked to be in the picture. So
Yeah, you were
that's
included.
great.
yes. Well, it's a funny story. The CRM MVPs had a picture where they jumped. Everybody jumped, so it was like floating
That's
in the
asking
air.
a lot, isn't it?
That's but they did it, and it looked really nice. And then they tried for the finance and operations MVPs, and we couldn't synchronize.
No.
So what happened was,
They were out of sync.
yeah, we'll see probably that in.
You can stitch a couple pictures together, maybe.
We have to do a lot of stitching to make that work.
But the worst part, you hurt your ankle.
I hurt my knee.
Your knee, okay.
Yes.
Oh boy.
No,
That's what you get for jumping. Well, she had me jumping up and down so much that I almost started sweating. So
Yeah, that's not acceptable.
we gave up.
yeah.
we couldn't make it.
A bunch of dispirited AX MVPs
Yeah.
walking out of the room.
The CRM guys are much more in sync.
Yeah, they're wanting. She did though create a nice time lapse, right?
So yeah, because 3 of us, there was one standing, one jumping, one standing, one jumping. So half of us were jumping at the same time, while the other 3 was just standing there. And then she went back forth between all of us standing, so it kind of looked like a zigzag.
That's cool.
So there will be a GIF out with us not being able to synchronize our jumping.
Yeah,
Which is probably almost more entertaining than the jumping, I would say.
yeah. Animated GIFs is yeah. So, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah, I think we should go out and try and see if we can find somebody else to interview.
Okay.
And then bring them back here.
Into this room?
Why not?
Okay, sure. Let's do it.
And then
Of their own free will, of course.
Oh,
No,
well. With the 3 of us and one of them. Sure. And we found Heather. There she is. And
not hard to find.
You're not
here.
hard to find?
No.
Oh, well, she was in the meeting. Anyway, so the event is almost over.
It is over. As of 26 minutes ago, it's over.
You want to do us a recap?
Where do I
Start
start?
from the
I was going to
beginning.
say, where do I start?
Just right at the beginning.
And we want all the sessions that were done by
Yeah.
no, just summaries, please.
Your summary.
Well, I definitely think it was the best summit EMEA ever. I think we did a really good job thanks to a great planning team. Thank you. Let's see. We had a week packed full of Academy. First time ever bringing Academy here in Europe, and we were happy to do so. And I think it was real successful. So we'll come back bigger, better, stronger on the courses. Really good messaging from Microsoft. So they actually released some brand new information from our stage, which, as you guys probably know, is not normally granted permission. But we did get to have that pleasure, and we were excited to have that. And I think Microsoft was here in droves. So they did a lot of meetings with customers and partners, and just really wanting to get ingrained in the community and find out what the needs are and what's going well, what's not going well, how they can fix what's not going well. So I think all in all, it was just a really good experience. The expo hall. So I did tease, last year. Well, Stuttgart, you guys were with us in Stuttgart, right? 2 years ago.
I was.
Tommy was. And do you remember our little tables were in the hallway, right? And then last year was even bigger and better, but we were still in a hallway with the sponsor tables and the exhibitors. This year, what do we have?
Yeah, we have a full hall downstairs on the base level.
Like a legitimate expo hall. So that to me is how you know you've made it with our events. And so it's really exciting. Yeah.
And how do you know the numbers? You know the numbers.
I do know the numbers.
So what are the numbers of?
We finished up. Well, we had a lot of activities going on here. So we finished up all in all a little more than 2,000. So for AXUG, we're always the big dogs. So we almost had a little more than 900. So almost half.
That's good.
Half of that were here for finance and operations. Yeah.
Yeah, and you did display some charts in the beginning on the general session.
We did. Yeah. Do you want versions, or are you talking people, roles?
You had everything, all the versions and the people, the roles.
We're an open book. We
Yeah.
want people to know who's here, right? How
That's
they can
interesting.
connect with each other. What we were really shocked about is how many executives and C-levels and decision makers were here. And IT still was high. They usually are, but a lot of decision makers.
A good
here.
mix of customers and partners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
The customers who were here seemed to come with a lot of questions.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
The ones who stood up.
Yeah. Were you at the medic desk the first day?
No.
I mean, literally the first day, the first 5 minutes after that opening keynote, and a lady came up to the desk with a list. I mean, a list. I was like, wow, she took it seriously. I would love to have her come back and say what she estimates she saved. In getting that.
Because she got answers.
Yeah, she
good.
did.
Yeah. And there was a medic booth for CRM and AX.
Yeah, well, so we called that the D365 family booth. So they had a medic desk, but also Power BI user group had their own medic booth as well. So.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I found it to be a great presence of Microsoft here, and and the expo was good. And it sounded like a lot of the guys presenting on the expo, they presented the booths, they had ongoing implementations with the products, the ISV solutions.
Yeah.
So I talked to a lot of the ISVs, and they were really happy with the setup of the expo hall, and the traffic that they got was very, very well received. So they're happy.
That's really good to hear.
Okay.
They'll be coming back. So we'll expect a bigger expo hall next year. So let me ask you guys. You guys are always doing the interview. Of the locations we proposed, what do you want?
I want Bergen, but
that wasn't on the list.
and then the cruise ship.
That wasn't on the list.
The cruise ship would be awesome.
And no, I think Nice. For me, it's Nice. I haven't been. We've been to Barcelona for we went there for the convergence. So I don't know if there's been a conference in Nice.
I think the tech conference in EMEA used to be hosted in Nice.
Yeah.
I've never been to Nice. I would like Nice.
I've been there once when I was so much younger, so I'd like to go back. I've been to Barcelona as well. I was thinking either Nice or London. But so I know Copenhagen wasn't on the list, but I've heard someone would like to have it in Copenhagen 1 year. Maybe not next year, but 1 year.
A lot of resources there.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jason?
I mean, personally, my vote would be with the bigger of those cities, so London or Barcelona, probably.
Were you expecting big numbers?
Just easier to get to.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But I am expecting,
expecting big numbers.
Yeah. Are we going to do this every year from now on?
We're in it.
Yeah,
we're in it to win it.
Yeah.
So we're not turning back now. We don't want to disappoint anybody, right? I think if anything, you'll see our summit events grow a little more throughout the world. So we are planning a Summit Australia for 2019. So.
There will be other DCI user groups in Africa, South Africa, right? For on the GP side. So GP has so the
an
whole
event.
organization is looking pretty globally.
We're talking about next year expanding that to include the D365 family too. We have a South African chapter that just got started there for us as well. So that's what we'll see. Dubai has been on the table for some possible world tour events. So I think we're really expanding our landscape of conferences because people like to meet up and learn in different ways. You can't just assume that Summit's going to be everything for everybody, and that's okay. Or sometimes they just want that deeper learning, that more technical learning. And so, you know us.
So
ask and you shall receive.
What's the next big events this year?
Well, let's see. What month are we in? April. I know, right? It's sad. So we do have a focus event in the U.S. We've been doing that for years, and that's next month. And that'll be in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And focus for us is like real deep dive learning, mostly around the end user of the products. And then after that, let's see, Summit Phoenix. Yeah.
Summit Phoenix
Yeah,
in
October.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to be a big one.
Yeah. I want to go to Phoenix and visit the Grand Canyon and learn something, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. And learn something.
and learn something of Grand Canyon. Anyway. Yeah.
And did you bring something, Heather? It's like
Oh, yeah, some hardware. This
Yes.
is kind of my paper holders. But
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, we do ask a lot of our MVPs and our great partners that are subject matter experts and our members, in that we say, sharing is caring. Share your knowledge, expand your network. When you share, you learn. But that also means it takes time. And so we like to recognize the people that take time to give back to their community, because sometimes you do it just out of the kindness of your heart, but some people want to be recognized, so we do that. And we have what's called Gemstone Awards. And every year, we're very big brotherish. We are D365 users. We track all of your activity within the community.
Those are IoT devices.
Yeah, right? Oh, it's like a prism. And we track your activities, and when you get to a certain level of giving within the year, you get awards. So both Tommy and Fredrik here qualified for their very own Granite Gemstone Award.
Thank you.
There's Fredrik's.
Thank
There
you.
it goes this way. Yep. So you have some little desk ornaments.
Silly.
Yep. Or they could really be a weapon, so be careful.
I
Very
thought
heavy.
you said it were tracking devices.
Yep. And so we do this every year. So
Okay.
we do
Thank
it
you.
for
Thank you.
everybody. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We should tally up all the hours of service you give and what that would equate to in dollars.
Well, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
God willing.
Cause I have no soul.